order to play a guitar strong, the guitar needs to be soft. These are the famous words of Sabicas, and credit to Pituquete, by the way, Buscadores Flamencos, for interviewing Paco Peña, who said that. In my opinion, this is the approach I take, at least when it comes to playing picados on the guitar. In order to play, I cannot agree more with this. In order to play a guitar strong, the guitar needs to be soft. It's so it's ironic, no? But I do believe this is true. And I do think that it's a misconception that, many people think that if somebody is playing with hard tension strings, that means he has so much force. I think it's the opposite, and it's not to sound negative or anything like this on the players who do play with hard tension very well. But I think playing with hard tension requires less force in picado only. By the way, I'm not talking about anything else. With the ligados and everything, it's another story. But when it comes to picados, to play picados, if you have extra hard tension and they say like, yeah, this guy has so much force, so he plays with so much hard tension for sure. I really do think this is a misconception. Let's elaborate a little bit. In my opinion, having very, very, let's say, hard tension strings, so hard tension or very hard tension, combining it with long nails is a way to play a little bit softer picados on the guitar, so you don't have to move and push as much on the fingers. You have the longer nail and you only have contact with the nail and the string, and it kind of just passes through quickly. I'm going to use an example like there's this Italian guy that he's killing it now. He plays electric guitar with the fingers. His name is Matteo Mancuso, no? His name is Matteo Mancuso. He's amazing and he's killing it. I think this guy, for example, he's playing with the nails and he plays on electric guitar or acoustic guitar, steel strings. There is no flamenco guitar in the world that you would put the highest tension. It will not even come close to how high tension these guitars are going to be. However, you can see him and he's playing like he seems like he's doing picados and it sounds good and everything. How come? And I really do think this is also, it's related to that. Having long nails, clearly he's also using long nails, with a very high tension, you don't need that much force. All you need is the speed. And when you have the nail directly contacting the string, that is, so there would not be necessary, it's not necessary anymore to contact with the flesh playing like this. You would only need the nail when you have it long enough. So you need long nails, high tension strings, and it's going to just push through very quickly. As you move your fingers, it's going to you literally do just like this, and it will push through the string. Not to sound negative or harsh or anything, this is just an opinion that I think. If you were to take that same playing that he's playing, let's say on the electric guitar or steel string guitar, you put it onto a nylon string, it is going to sound weak if it's played in that same force. I'm not saying he can or cannot do it, but I'm saying if you take the same way he's playing on the electric guitar or acoustic, it is going to sound weak. I don't know if I can show you a little bit, but because my playing is not with long nails, it's a little bit shorter, but the force, it's going to sound something more along the lines of this, something like that, where there's a speed, like there's a speed and all, but it's not punching through. This is another way of playing. And why I'm using his example is because he's the other spectrum. Like he's super hard tension, very long nails, and he's doing it, and it sounds very good because everything is plugged in. He doesn't need to produce the sound from the guitar directly. But this is the perfect example, because now you bring this to flamenco guitar, and most people who think that if this guy has so much force, it means he's playing hard tension. I do not believe that. Most people, for example, I think if you play with a very high tension strings, long nails would be required. No flesh necessary anymore, the contact, and you can do the same thing, but it will sound weak. It will be so much harder to get that punchy Paco de Lucia sound. Now, when it comes to playing, why I think lower tension, medium to low tension is superior and just better, it's also more difficult, is because we are literally pulling the string itself and then releasing with each note. If you see like this, I'm not just passing through the flesh. I'm not passing through the nail only. This is not what I'm doing. This is one way of doing it, by the way. This kind of playing, it's kind of more softer, and you just use the nail only. You can get a little bit longer nail, and you can just push through the string like this immediately. And the Paco de Lucia technique, how I see it, and you can see that, he seems to always be pulling the string and releasing on each note. And in order to do that, you need shorter nails. while you pull the string and when you release it, on the release, it's hitting the nail, a little bit the nail, and then you can get that sharp sound from the nail. It's not only nail, so it's a combination of both. And that it's hard to show slowly, but pulling the string, it's better to do it with 2 fingers. You can see how much I'm pulling the string. That is literally pulling each note, pulling it up. And that's why playing medium to low tension is harder, and it's requires more force to play on the right hand, especially with picados, I'm going to say, right? Like this. You can see. I need to tune real quick. This is the sound, this is closer to Paco de Lucia's sound, in my opinion. The way I just played now like this, it's closer to Paco de Lucia, where you feel like you're pulling each note, like the string on each note, and then releasing, and you get that sharp attack from the nail. That's why the nail should not be too long, like this. And that's how you get kind of this explosive sound that Paco has. It's so much more difficult. You can get each note like this with the punch behind it like that. Genuinely, that I don't know, like this is, I know, like, yeah, hard tension requires so much force, especially on the left hand and everything, but I hear this a lot where like, you know, you need so much more force to play hard tension strings or something. Especially when I say to somebody, if they ask me, let's say a student or anything, and they ask me what tension, and I say I prefer medium to low, and they would assume, you know, but I see that you have a lot of force, and I thought you usually play with hard tension. And it's definitely a misconception. It's definitely not like this. I do think for the left hand, the legados are going to be more difficult because you have to pull. It's more. I find it more annoying to have high tension on the left hand. You have to just put so much more work for no reason, because you can still have even better legados with the lower tension on the strings. So I really do believe high tension strings, the combination of high tension with long nails, and you remove the flesh contact, you just play with the nail directly, and then you go through the string with much longer nail than what I have now. You have to have a much longer nail, and don't use the flesh. So it's basically just the nail itself, and they use the finger only like this directly. And then they can just literally, the string is there stably, always like this. And what they're doing is just passing through it from the nail only. And you get this kind of sound. It's closer to this. Like this. Where it's their speed and everything. Now, if you plug this guitar in and you put the volume on max and everything, you're going to hear the sound very clearly. But I'm not actually producing the sound. It's artificial. So that's why you get the sound. This is the original sound you should be hearing, actually. Like this. Which is, again, you can do any scale that you want. For example, I'm not used to playing like this, but that's the idea of like having high tension strings, long nails, and just literally going through the strings like this. Look at the setting that I have, for example. By the way, this guitar is still available. If anybody is interested, let me know. I have the bridge sanded down here well, and then the tension is very, very less, so very little, I want to say. I'm using PITBULL Strings at the moment as well, and you can use 3 fingers like this, and you can pull up. And look how nice this is. This is the first string which you use, and I'm going to pull up from here, this side, not even here. And look how much it goes up. Already it's almost touching, it's touching the second string. Almost, I'm saying. And keep in mind, it's this area. This is how I measure the tension for guitars usually, always. I bring 3 fingers like this and I pull up. How much to pull up? Like, you don't want to destroy the string. The amount you pull is basically around the force that you're going to use when you actually play. So if you're going to play with this much force, you pull around like this. It's like about how much you're going to be using the force basically on the string. So my advice to you, and this is very personal, but I want to say, just start pulling. If you want that sound that Paco de Lucia has, you have to start pulling. You have to start actually going through the string, not only passing through it, but Paco used to actually pull the string and then release. And with the release, you get that sharp attack from the nail. That kind of thing. If you have hard tension and you're playing picados, it's more likely that you're going to be passing through like this. With some exceptions, of course, there are beast players out there, for example, that can still pull like this. And I need to make this very clear, because it is possible. I don't know, but it is possible that Paco is playing hard tension strings and he is a superhuman, that he's doing it anyway with hard tension strings. I'm not saying this is not possible. It is possible. It's highly unlikely though. Where I want you to pay attention when he's playing, when you see Paco de Lucia video, I want you to pay attention to this area of the guitar when he's doing picados, on next to the finger, not here, here. And when you can see from now, when I do it like this, you can see the strings, how much they are moving. You can see how much the string is moving up when I'm playing. There are several times when he's doing picados on the videos, for example, Paco. You can see from this side how much the string is moving. This is where I always observe, because this is where you can see how much he's actually pulling up like this. If it's very, very high tension, when he plays the note, where he is resting like this is not going to be moving too much. It's not the string itself, it's the string he's resting on. So if you play the second string, you should see how much the third string is being bent like this. If I do like this, only observe the third, how much I'm bending this. If it's too high tension, you would not see almost anything happening. But when it's low tension, medium to low tension, you can see there are videos of Paco. I'm telling you, if you just observe, you can see him, man. He is going, and the strings are almost passing through the next string. It's like the third is passing through the fourth. That's how much he's putting so much force, and how much he's actually pulling, how much he's playing, and how much he's pulling up. The word they use for this in Spanish, by the way, is called the pulsación. I don't know if is it true? Is this pulsation in English? I'm not sure if it exists even this word, but like it's how much you press, basically, the pulsación. For example, in Spanish, when they want to compliment somebody for having a very good sound and pulling like this, they would say, for example, tiene muy buena pulsación, meaning he has a very good pressing. It's referred to here and not here. You'd think it's here because we're pressing here like this, but it's mainly here. The pulsación is how much you're pressing on the right hand. Here. So that's what I wanted. I wanted just to make this video real quick about this, because I really feel the misconception of like having this, having super high tension strings, it means this guy plays very, very strong. So again, each person has his own way, but I want to tell you guys, start pulling, start playing. If you want that Paco sound, that aggressive Paco sound, you don't have to go fast, playing at like 200 beats per minute like Paco de Lucia and start playing immediately like this, but experiment with the sound. Look, I'm going to place my finger here. This is about how much I'm playing. I'm pulling with each note, about this much, like this. And if you hear the sound, only just the sound, like this. Again, this about this much. Now, if I put more speed, it's more fun, of course, and everything. But it needs more force, is my point, man. I put so much effort in this, and then I hear somebody saying, like, hard tension strings is because he has so much force. It's like, no, I put so much time on this, and then I practice so much to have this kind of aggressive sound, like this. And this is more difficult on medium to low tension strings, like I'm saying, to get that force, to pull each string, each note, and then get that sound. Anyway, another one reason before I close the video is when you have medium to low tension strings, you can have the option to actually play more closer to the bridge, like this. So if you have high tension strings, moving to the bridge would be almost nonsense. Like, it doesn't make sense, because already you're playing very hard tension strings. You move here and it becomes like a rock, and the sound is metallic. It's like playing, I cannot do it on this guitar because I have it very well balanced now for this setting like Paco. But playing medium to low tension strings allow you to move to this side, which is required for a punchy, nice picado sound to that. So you move to this side and it allows you to do that more. Like that. Try doing that with like extra high tension strings or anything, like it's not going to work. Now, very important point again is to keep in mind your bridge height and everything, because each guitar has a different tension. Maybe some guitars, if you put medium tension, it's going to feel like extra hard on others. Maybe it's the other way around. So it's very subjective, it's very personal, each person and his guitar and that kind of thing. So that is to keep in mind for sure. But my test always is just bring 3 fingers like this, pull them up about the force that you're going to use when you're playing. And that's how I measure the tension of the guitar like this. So that is my approach on this. I hope it's clear. And just one more thing again before I leave, I'll just let you know this guitar is available for purchase if anybody is interested. It's an Indian rosewood, very very beautiful. HERMANOS CONDE 2016. It has a very nice punchy sound. I lowered the saddle as much as possible here to have that thing we were talking about now. So you can pull up like this. It has a spruce top here, and the action I made sure to lower as much as possible on this side here, so that it has, because each guitar is very hard to tune to your liking, because again, like I said, some guitars might have, even if you put medium to low tension strings, you might feel like they're still hard. So tuning those guitars to lower the saddle enough, even the bridge you have to sand sometimes, the bridge, if there is room to do that, you know, you can file the bridge down, and then you can get that that kind of tension that you want. So I'm a little bit, you know, maniac when it comes to this. I do those and just to find the exact right tension of the string, and now it's very comfortable. And I hope this video helped clear some things. I really wanted to make this just to give my thoughts and opinions on this. If you like, give it a like, and I'll see you next time.